factor analysis, principal component analysis, confirmatory factor analysis, structure equation modeling, and all those things. Yes, Starter can do it more efficient. And I even have a paper that has 10 commands. And all the 10 commands, the 10 pieces of commands can run your qualitative data, checking for your Chromback alphas, sphericity, and all those things. So it puts them in a publishable format, and it can run all these in less than 2 minutes. So when it comes to qualitative data, Starter will be able to handle that. When it comes to industry, yes, it's true that most management industries, what they know, because most of the senior fellows out there, what they know when we're leaving universities and other things is SPSS. So they tend to rely more on SPSS than Starter. However, if we're efficient in Starter, you can demonstrate to them that whatever is being done in SPSS, that would take you hours, can be done in minutes. So it's not a disadvantage. Actually, knowing Starter makes you more efficient when you go back to look at SPSS. Because what will SPSS do for you is to use a lot of click down and given parameters to run the same thing that you can basically issue a command in less than a minute to do. So for finance and for companies in finance, in banking, in the institutions of political nature, most of them are into Starter. Strictly management institutions tend to rely more on SPS, but now most of them are also migrating because now a lot of things are getting management papers. They want your statistical models to be robust enough, and most of them have started using that. So there will not be much challenge because it's not like when you learn Starter, you'll not be able to initiate SPSS. When you learn Starter, you've learned an efficient way of doing the same thing. And most of my colleagues, I have SPSS, but I never use them. So most of my colleagues have both SPSS and Starter. And by the time they finish, they rely on Starter. I started with 10 PhD students on Starter and statistical model. All of them were in SPSS. They are PhD students across universities over here. And as I'm talking to you, nobody is using SPSS anymore. Because the very thing that is taking them hours to do, now they can do it in a matter of minutes. So I don't think there will be that much challenge if you can demonstrate that the SPSS that you have can do things more efficiently. They will even love the efficiency that it brings to the organization. Thank you.
Thank you so very much. I think we have done so well. We have gone almost 1.5 hours having this discussion. I think when Professor Akapovi is going to round up, he is going to give us more information on how we can join this interesting class upcoming in the 3 weeks coming up. So we would want to stay in here and listen to Prof when he runs up. But before I go, I want to just give a little information. So I will share my screen and then we would see the information I want to give. It has to do with some other interesting upcoming events also on the part of AAU. So please allow me to share my screen briefly and to talk about this also. I spoke initially about the AAU General Conference coming up. We want to invite everyone to register at the link given below. Registration and participation is free. It's our 5th theme quadrennial conference, and the theme is the future of African higher education. It's happening from the 5th to the 8th of July, 2021. It's a virtual meeting. So once you register, you are given the link and you are able to attend free and to ask questions and to make your contributions on how African higher education can contribute to the development of the continent in attaining the SDGs that we are working at attaining in 2063. The other thing is the other platform that we have now that we are promoting. It's called HTTPS, africanedujobs.com. It is for all higher education institutions to advertise their jobs for free now. And for people searching for jobs in the higher education sector, you can go in there and see the jobs that are available. For instance, Association of African Universities, we are looking for Secretary General. So you can look at the qualifications, and if you are up for it, you can put in your applications. Then also we are advertising for the position of the Director for Director of Academic and Research Planning. That one is also available for anyone who is interested to apply to take up the position. Please bring your jobs to africanedujobs.com for free advertisement from your institutions, and encourage your faculty members or members of your community to also visit that platform to search for jobs that are available. Gambia University is looking for a vice chancellor. That's also there. So that is AAU. We will continue to provide the platform for collaboration among members of the higher education institutions. We will support all the other institutions to make sure they can attain whatever they want to achieve, if it's possible within our means. We will remain the voice of higher education on the continent. And we are grateful for all those who helped make this meeting a successful one. At this point, I want to hand over to Prof to round us up for our meeting. Prof.
Thank you very much, my dear colleague Abinigo from AAU. Let me begin by saying that on behalf of the Vice Chancellor of Accra Technical University, Professor Samuel Odai, we'd like to thank you very much for taking part of this special event. We are much grateful of your participation, your listening, your questioning, and also on the debate. It is quite important that you have realized that in these few minutes that we spent together, there is quite a huge amount of knowledge to acquire. When you observe actually the current situation of research in our country, you see quite a number of students being master's holder, PhD holders, seeking opportunity for people to help them, to perform data analysis in their project work. It is very common these days, and we are aware, to get students from one university going around and trying to do the wrong one, buying projects from other institutions, and then trying to plagiarize other people just for the pursuit of the academic certificate. It is so because people lack the requisite knowledge to perform their right data analysis and also come out with research that are innovative and that also contribute to the advancement of knowledge. Just as Professor Abedu say, why are you writing a new paper if it's not to progress the body of knowledge in your area? But when you lack the requisite skill to perform data analysis and also to bring innovation out of yourself, it's just normal that you go around seeking all other opportunities to do so. It is also in the spirit to minimize this wrongdoing and to increase the spirit of research that we want to encourage quite a number of people to take part of this training session that will take place at Accra Technical University in the face-to-face mode in the subsequent 3 weeks. I am very glad that Professor Idrisu took us a bit back on the concept of curriculum development. It is quite important to develop curriculum that are industry driven nowadays, so that when you deliver a graduate on the market, they do not suffer to be employable, but they are found relevant by the employers because they know what is required to perform the job. Though a lot of skills will be infused into people who attend this training. And again, when it comes to data analysis, I know it sounds regular to some ears, but it may sound new to some other ears to perform things like hypothesis tests, multiple regression, multivariate analysis, panel data analysis, and quite a number of things that were mentioned by Professor Bidu. And also the ultimate mode use of command mode by the Stata software, which become a particular powerful weapons. I think we shouldn't miss this opportunity, especially those in the business. Even in the engineering, you can learn a lot on how to use this and perform your data analysis in a very simplistic and peaceful manner in the future. So I want to take this opportunity to thank you, first of all, and to invite you to collaborate with us, to work with these fellows that are with us to achieve quite a number of things. Talking about the training, we shall start it immediately next week. We'll come out with an advert by the close of this week. What we are not sure about is the tuition, where we are putting it because discussion is still going on. However, we are very sure that there will be a certification fee for those who are interested in having a certificate, because it's going to take 3 weeks, and we will deliver a certificate from ATU signed by the professors who will deliver the training program to you. But we are trying as much as possible to subsidize tuition so that we don't put money to bring a limitation into this. What we are interested in is to be a hub of, knowledge, to have people connecting with our faculty and our students, developing projects with this software, and collaborating with people from the other side in the United States, and developing projects for the advancement of Ghana. So money should not be a limitation to this, but you all agree with me that we cannot run a program and provide some few, services if you don't rely on the little possible. So I will be careful not to mention any cost at this stage, but I promise you, before this week ends, we'll come out with the advert with the full details. And I believe that we shall make it affordable to everyone. I want to encourage you, wherever you are, that make up your mind to join us next week. The training is not going to take the whole week, maybe one intensive day of training, but the rest of the day in the week will be for follow-up and discussion with individual. So if you're a student doing a master's, a PhD, or a BSc, and you have an interesting project, you can join us, discuss with professors so that they can guide you how you could use data to help yourself in the data analysis the rest of the week. And the subsequent week, we'll have another day full of tutorial, followed by other days of discussion, and same for the third week, after which certificate will be delivered. So we'll avail their contact to you, and you are free to join us next week. On this note, I thank you very much, and I wish you the best for the rest of the day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Prof. But just before you go, unfortunately, we have people joining us from outside the country here. So how would they be catered for? That is the unfortunate thing now.
Okay, I think this is, we can handle this. It's not really unfortunate. It's still fortunate. I think we haven't planned, but we have facilities to record the sessions. So we could actually, and we have also a learning management system, which is very appropriate to use. So we could mount it on our learning management system and keep the recording of the lecture sessions, and then also make them available to those who register. It wasn't originally planned, I must be frank on that, but based on the need and also on the type of people that will register, we'll make that service available so that people from outside will have access, if they are registered through our learning management system, read the videos and have the contact of the professors for follow-ups and discussion in the subsequent week. I mean, it's a collaboration that goes beyond the 3 weeks. After the 3 weeks, if you succeed in establishing a good relation and also going deep in your data analysis, I think the relationship will continue even beyond just the 3 weeks we are talking about now. So thank you very much.
All right, thanks so very much. So the Prof has ended us officially. We are going to leave the platform available a few more minutes for people who would want to interact, because that's one of the objectives of the meeting also. We want people to interact, to know each other, and to ask questions they were unable to ask. So Prof, if you would allow me, I will leave it open and then people can raise their hands. If it's time, there's time for questions from them, and then we'll have responses from them.
Thank you. No problem.
All right. So we are now open. If you want to make a comment, please raise your hand, and then we will call you to make a comment or to ask a question. You can ask questions or make a comment contribution. We have about 5 more minutes to do that before we end our session for the day.
Prof, just a quick note. I think one student, I think Joshua or something, asked a question about, like, industry expectations in relation to, like, for instance, now if you join the industry, I think specifically mentioned knowing softwares like maybe Python, and then Tableau, and then Power BI, and I would say, I think the student was asking, how do you learn, these, especially once you have finished school? And I think it's important that, maybe I can give some perspective. So number one, I mean, just read, just read online, watch YouTube videos. Like if you want to, like you can get starter and you can get Python and then download it for free. The same with R. And then just watch YouTube videos with some few commands and then learn from there. And then the same thing with Tableau. With Tableau, like there are a lot of tools around for Tableau, right? Because it's just, Tableau is very much for data visualization. We want to see how data looks like. And then of course, after that, just like Prof mentioned earlier, because with data, there are 3 steps to it as well. Like at least first of all, you just want to see how it looks like, what it is, first of all, why you need it, and then how you are going to use it. And so if you know the data, you visualize it, and then it tells you a lot, then at least it can inform your analysis as well. And data, Tableau is very good for data visualization. Even before you do any text mining or deep mining, you need to visualize the data. And then of course, with the last piece, which is Power BI. Power BI is just like, it's a consolidation, right, of all the results you get from all the platform, but it gives you in one nice, one nice shot, where, for instance, all the analysis that you want to get from like maybe customer sales, through channel category sales development, through maybe marketing, through supply chain, it gives you all the data, consolidated once, and I think that's the power of, or that's the strength of Power BI. So I would say just go online. You can simply, and sometimes to get some of this information, it's not that difficult. Like, maybe let me just do a quick demonstration. Let's say, for instance, if you're looking for, like, so this is something on Power BI, right? Like if you type like .pdf and then you just type maybe Python, right? So once you do .pdf, it will give you a lot of information, which is PDF-based materials on Python. And if you want Excel as well, you just do .xls and then you type whatever you want, like maybe Tableau, and then you can also, and you can download this Tableau and then view them. And then of course you can go to YouTube as well, watch these videos, and then the other textbooks that are available. So I'll say that it might be, especially if you didn't take the class in school, that might be a good point to start from, right? So just, YouTube videos, very simple videos, watch them, and they should help. Yeah. So that's just a thought I wanted to give.
Thank you very much, Prof. I have pasted the link for YouTube and Facebook where the recording for this meeting would be showing up. So for those who want to play back and listen to all that happened during this meeting, the links have been posted in the chats. Emmanuel, please, can you unmute and give your comment or question, please?
Sorry. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Yes, I joined in a bit late, but I was trying to ask whether we have specific tools for specific areas of research. Like say if you are in the humanities, you can use a different research tool, because I learned also about the R statistical software. I don't know whether you can just give me a minute on what exactly that one can be used for, and if each if in different areas we have specific tools for data analysis and research. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I think I'll give a brief comment on that one. When it comes to statistical tools, there are a host of statistical tools that are more quantitative tilted compared to others. So we have R, SAS, Stata, and others that are more superior when it comes to complex quantitatives. So you have first like finance, economics, data analytics using such tools. And when we come to the management, the social sciences and other places, they tend to use more of less quantitative softwares like SPSS, because most of their data is derived from surveys. That was the history of the two tracks. Less quantitative style data, we go to SPSS, more quantitative, go to Stata, SAS, R, and so forth. But of course, these are also industry players. And people in Stata realize that, no, what about if we look at what SPSS do with primary data like surveys, interview responses, and embed it in Stata and let Stata do it better, because they're in competition. These softwares, they're all in competition. So now, whatever SPSS can do when it comes to primary data with in interviews and surveys, these quantitative softwares are able to do. But the orientation as to what students uses is often dependent on the professor or the classes that they are joining. If the professor is efficient in R or SAS or SPSS, that is what they encourage the student to follow suit, because in most cases, the professors are inundated with other stuff to do. So the likelihood of shifting to learn a new software to teach students is not there. So in most cases for students, their orientation is shaped by the software that their professor or their lecturer tend to use, and that's what they get to know. So they get opportunity to attend seminars like what we're offering, they compare the two, and that's when either they switch or not. And as I suggested with my PhD statistical modeling class, they all came using SPSS. Now all of them are using Stata because they realize the speed with which some of these things can be done. So traditionally, there are two tracks: more quantitative, less quantitative. Less quantitative, uses SPSS; more quantitative uses R, SAS, Stata, and other, more mathematically inclined software. So traditionally, that thing is there, but it's blurring out as industry players juggle for positions and try to introduce similar components into it. So it existed, but I think it's getting blurred out now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I don't know if Professor wanted to add something.
Yes. I just wanted to add to the excellent knowledge we've gotten from Prof. Yeah, so, I think to Emmanuel's question, yes, which, like, for instance, depending, let's say in the areas of engineering, some people do a lot of, like, let's say electrical engineering, you do a lot of control systems. So you might have individuals who use a lot of MATLAB, and then you use Simulink as well. And then sometimes you might have individuals who are in the areas of management and even construction management. And you might realize that they use a lot of GAMs, like that is general algebraic modeling systems or platforms. So these GAMs are also free, like you can get them for free. And it's purely like optimization. So because you can use Excel to do a lot of optimization, just using solver. But then it gets to a point where it is not computationally tractable. So especially if you're doing modeling, like mathematical modeling, then like you realize that some people use simulation like Arena, and then you can also use ARIMA, and then you can use auto mode, which is purely a C++ environment. And then you can even use like Python. Python does a lot of that. And it's interesting that, Prof mentioned about like R and then SPSS. And it was funny. I was jumping around on Python, and then I realized that Python is able to give you a correlation on a heat map perspective, like GIS, ARC, system. And so it looks nice to the eyes. And so I was telling myself, I said, oh, these organizations are providing all of these tools, just to be able to help individuals within our different spheres of research. So yes, if you're in the social sciences, if you're in the humanities, if you are purely like finance, economics, and then if you're also in engineering, whether civil, mechanical, etc., like there are these various different softwares that are available for you to use. So depending on your field, it will inform the type of software that you use. But it's always good to learn, right? For instance, I'm excited, I'm ready to sit in Prof's class and learn about Stata. And I hope that you're all excited because we all get to learn, and that is one of the things that we mentioned, that it should be, learning should be a long life, experience. It shouldn't be like, if you are done with a PhD, you are done. No, there's a funny saying that as a professor, you should always see yourself as a student, then you learn more. The day you consider yourself as a professor, then of course you become an ignorant person, so you don't want to be on that level. So you should be always learning. And so I'm happy, and I'll be sitting in Prof's class, and I hope you all join us. Yeah, thank you.
All right. Thank you all very much for being a part of this meeting. Prof has already closed us. I'm just acknowledging a few people I'm seeing here. Vikana from Robinson from Kenya. Hello. Prof, you're saying something? I'm just acknowledging some people from outside. I'm seeing Vikana Robinson, from Kenya. I'm seeing Godi from Botswana. Those who are outside the country, I've seen some faces here. Thank you all for joining the class. And
thank you so much.
I'm hoping you would you would come online to join the class, the physical class that is going to take place, and then we would all benefit from the rich information that we have been prompted is going to come up in the next 3 weeks. We thank you once again. We thank you, Prof. I think at this end, since there are no more questions, I would want to ask the technical people to end the meeting for us. Or there's something else before we do that, Prof?
I think we are good to go, so we can end it for now.
All right. Thank you very much.
Mr. Allen. Okay, bye. I'm going to call it the IT people.
Record.